the waterfalls and waterways are second to none. Said to be the highest point in Nigeria, Mambila Plateau is the home of the largest hydroelectricity project in West Africa.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. This is the news at 7 on NTAi International. I'm Ruth Aguele, and my sign language interpreter is Bamidele John. Let's bring you the headlines. Nigeria flags off vaccination against COVID-19 pandemic, with health workers taking the lead.
Irrespective of seniority and paper qualification, and deploy them.
President Buhari tasks new service chiefs on national security as he decorates new service chiefs. The National Assembly says Nigeria still lags behind in digital sophistication, security, and know-how. Begin on security note, the newly appointed Chief of Defense Staff and service chiefs of the nation's armed forces have been decorated with their new ranks. Now, this followed the confirmation of the appointments by the National Assembly. President Muhammadu Buhari, who performed the ceremony, tasked the service chiefs to do whatever it takes to reclaim all territories dominated by criminal elements and effectively secure the country before the rainy season sets in. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports.
The new Chief of Defense Staff, Lucky Irabu from Delta State, now a four-star general, was commissioned as a second lieutenant in June 1986, and until his present appointment, the Commander, Training and Doctrine Command of the Nigerian Army. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attairu from Kaduna State, was commissioned in December 1986 as an infantry officer. His counterpart of the Nigerian Navy, Vice Admiral Awal Zubairu Gambo from Kano State, joined the service as sub-lieutenant in 1989, while Air Marshal Ishaka Oladayo Amau of the Nigerian Air Force from Osun State became a pilot in 1986. President Muhammadu Buhari described their appointment as not only well-deserved, but also a confidence loudly expressed on behalf of Nigerians. The entire nation, he emphasized, is looking up to them for what he called rapid relief from the worrisome state of insecurity in parts of the country.
As Commander-in-Chief, I have accepted responsibility for your action in the field. It's up to you to identify your competent officers, irrespective of seniority and paper qualification, and deploy them to go out into the field and secure the country. We have got a few weeks to do that, because by the rainy season we expect people to develop confidence and go back to the land to produce enough food for the nation.
While wishing the service chiefs the best of luck, President Buhari promised that every support and encouragement desired will be accorded them towards achieving their objectives. The new Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabu, on behalf of the service chiefs, expressed gratitude to the President for the honor and trust bestowed on them, which he promised will be justified.
The mandate which you've given us is very clear, which is to do everything possible to address all the security challenges facing us as a nation. We will, based on the mandate, do everything in our power to address all issues appertaining to insecurity in the country, working in concert with other security agencies.
General Lucky Irabu, who pledged unalloyed loyalty of the Nigerian Armed Forces to the President and the nation's constitution, later spoke to NTAi News on the next big step.
We will bring Mr. President's expectation to bear in terms of our tasks. But let me also let you know that the inevitable is that Nigerians will indeed experience peace and security across the land. And we ensure that Nigerians, whatever bring fear to them before now, will be a thing of the past.
How do you intend to achieve that?
Well, that is the trump card, which I will now read to you. We, as members of the armed forces, will review various strategies and then, of course, come up with new ones to be able to meet the demands of the current realities.
The Chief of Defense Staff was, however, emphatic that under the watch of the new service chiefs, peace and security of Nigeria will not be determined by either terrorist or other criminal elements. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTAi News.
Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo this Friday received Aminu Tambuwal, Governor of Sokoto State. Issues of security challenges facing the state was discussed with a view to finding an end to the problem. The governor, while speaking to the press after the meeting, confirms an attack on a village in one of the local government areas of the state.
But of course, we also had reason to talk about issues of security, because even this morning, from 1 a.m. Last night through this morning, there was an attack in Sokoto State, in Sabon local government area, in Tara village, where so far we have lost about 15 people as a result of that attack. So security must always be at the front burner whenever leaders, more so the Vice President, meet with people who are on the saddle in our respective states. So we have discussed also about security and how best to bring this to an end.
The governor added that the Vice President is scheduled to visit the state to have further discussion with the stakeholders on how to ensure peace among the people, and will also take time off to inspect some of the projects embarked on by his administration, including a 950 capacity teaching hospital. And sharing news for Nigerians, vaccination of Nigerians against the coronavirus pandemic has commenced, with 4 health workers taking the first shot of the vaccine at the National Hospital, Abuja. Kenneth Nanim reports that the vaccination exercise was flagged off by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa.
With that, Dr. Cyprian Ngang led his colleagues, who have been at the front line in the fight against the pandemic, to become the first set of Nigerians to take the vaccine against the virus. A development that Secretary to the Government of the Federation and PTF Chairman, Boss Mustafa, and other government officials say is a clear indication of the federal government's commitment towards containing spread of the virus in the country.
In keeping with our promise, the Presidential Task Force is prioritizing the frontline health workers in the first batch of vaccines received. They have fought hard to save us. They laid down their lives for us, and in the ICUs and treatment centers, they became our last line of defense.
These health workers that took the first shot of the vaccine allayed fears about safety and efficacy of the vaccine.
I won't risk myself taking a vaccine that I'm not sure, 100% sure about.
I feel secured against this deadly disease.
While they emphasized on continuous adherence to the non-pharmaceutical protocols against COVID-19, they dispelled all conspiracy theories and urged Nigerians to make themselves available for vaccination.
I want to put it on record again that the vaccines that we're going to be delivering today to Nigerians are safe, they're effective, and we're going to roll out this vaccine in a very efficient manner, just like we all work together as one country and defeated the wild polio viruses.
Persons under 18 years and pregnant women are for now not eligible except they have been medically certified as vulnerable due to one underlying ailment or the other. The reason for them not being generally eligible now is because there is no scientific assessment yet.
And this is a time for us to rally behind the government. The virus knows no creed, knows no religion, knows no ethnicity, knows no sex.
All eligible Nigerians are expected to be vaccinated as the country takes delivery of more doses. Kenneth